Welcome to Sensational Living with Liliana. Today we're going to make some great keto cookies. Now, who doesn't like chocolate chip cookies? The beautiful thing about these are guilt-free because literally they're going to be about 2.5 carbohydrates for each one, and they are vegan. So again, you can't do better than that. There is no butter, no eggs, so let's get started. So we're going to start off by just heating up some of the oil. Now I'm going to put in about 4 tablespoons of oil. So again, I heat it up so that you can get a perfect measurement, because oftentimes when you put it directly solid into that, it may be a little bit too much. And since we don't have eggs, these are some of the things that are going to bind it well together. So you just want to heat it up. And then again, I would just let it cool down a little bit as well. And that doesn't take more than a couple of seconds to do that. So now we've got our liquid there. So I'm going to go ahead and put the dry ingredients. Now I'm going to start off with 2 cups of almond flour. You want to get the fine almond flour. So I'm just going to go ahead and now again, if you don't have KitchenAid, don't worry about it. You can just put it with you don't need to have a mixer. But I like to do this because it's really well with the when you put the chips in there, it mixes really nicely. So we'll go ahead and put that there. Now we're also going to want to put about a half a teaspoon of baking soda. So let's get that in there. So it's as simple as could be. You can teach your kids how to do it. They will love it. And then a half of a teaspoon of, actually it's a quarter of a teaspoon. Both of these are a quarter of a teaspoon because I'm not tripling up the recipe. And this is just a really good Celtic salt. Now you want to use a good salt that hasn't been processed, so that's going to be awesome. So all the ingredients in here are fabulous. It's not that it's an immune-enhancing, wonderful food, but guess what? It's something that's actually not going to be of any toxic to you at all. So this is why I call them guilt-free chocolate chip cookies, although they are going to have some carbohydrates because I am going to use an alcohol sugar. And a lot of people think that it's kind of a free kind of calorie, and in and of itself, it's about 2 carb count for a tablespoon, so it still holds some impact. So I tell patients it's going to be much better on the glycemic index in terms of blood sugar, but you still got to count it in a little bit. The body processes it a lot different than regular cane sugar or a processed sugar. So then I'm going to put about, I'd say about 3 tablespoons, and now you can add a little bit more if you'd like, of some shredded unsweetened coconut. And the beautiful thing about coconut, it's got a lot of fiber in it. So again, we're deducting the fiber so we get the net carbs on that. And almond flour is going to have protein in it, it's going to have fiber in it. That's what makes these cookies so fantastic in regards to their low carbohydrate content. So I'm going to go ahead and add a couple tablespoons of this Lakanto powdered sugar. And I like this because it mixes really well, but if you just have the granular one, you can use that as well. This is from a monk fruit. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Now again, you can do it to your sweetness. I don't like things super sweet. That's about 3 tablespoons right there. And a little bit went on to the counter there, but that's okay. Let's see. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit. I'm going to add the nuts in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and stir this. So if you're just using a mixer, a hand, just even a spoon, you want to blend it up really quite nicely so that you don't have any chunks in there. So I'm just going to give that a little so we can make sure. With it. We don't want any chunks in there. So So as it's going, I'm going to go ahead and just put about 3 tablespoons of the coconut oil, actually 4, because I'm doubling up this recipe. Okay. So now this is just coconut oil. It's organic coconut oil, and again, it has very little carbohydrates in it. And I usually just get the thick organic cream of the coconut. And so it's really kind of nice, thick, and rich. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3 tablespoons. Actually, doubling this recipe, so it's actually going to be 6 tablespoons. But again, look at the consistency and make sure that it's not too soft. Tablespoons, and it looks like it's absolutely a perfect consistency. I'm going to go ahead and add about a teaspoon of some organic vanilla. add about 2 tablespoons of some chopped walnuts. Cuisinart. I don't want them to be like flour because I want them to be a little bit crunchy, but at the same time, I would just use a Cuisinart, or you might use a regular knife as well. So I put 3 tablespoons in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the chocolate chips there. So you can see already, it just really looks like a beautiful moisture. Now these are Lily Stevia chocolate chips, so they're awesome. 60 of these little teeny chocolate chips are only 3 carbohydrates, so you can't go wrong with that. Even if you wanted to make yourself a trail mix and you wanted to throw a few of these stevia chips in there, no problem whatsoever. And again, they are with stevia, so it makes it very, very low carbohydrates. Just as easy as that. Now, again, how long did that take me? Just a few minutes? So that's awesome. Let's go ahead and put it down. Just have to find the little knob on here. Come on. This is the part I always have the greatest time with, is trying to get this off. So there's no such thing as perfection in the kitchen. It's all about having a good time. All right, so let's move this. So this is perfect. I'm going to just say here that we did a great job on this one. Easy as pie. You can't go wrong. What is this, like a 10-minute recipe? And the beautiful thing about this is about I'd say maybe a 10 to 13 minutes cooking it. So your kids will be so happy. They'll be standing there waiting right as you take this out of the oven, just like we used to stand there waiting for my mother to take the tortillas right off the grill with our nice butter in our hands. So right when they came off the grill, we could just sit down and have a great homemade tortilla. So I'm going to just use basically a little ice cream scooper just to kind of put them on there. And so again, you're going to get about 12. If you make them a little bit bigger, they're going to maybe get around 8. So I'm just going to go ahead and set those on there. So you can just see that they're not too thick as far as their consistency. I can still squish them, so they're really not going to be the consistency oftentimes of what we would consider a regular gluten-free or gluten flour will be. But you'll see how beautiful they are when they come out of the oven. Okay, so I'm making these a little big, but that's okay. So again, if you make them a little smaller, you'll get about 12. If not, you'll get about 8. Now again, if you have an issue with chocolate, you can use carob. Now carob is a great alternative for those people who have any kind of allergy towards chocolate. They are going to be a little bit more on the carbohydrate content because the carob chips have a little bit more, but they're just as terrific. I have an issue with chocolate, so oftentimes I will use carob in my recipes. Won't need that. So we've got 3, 6, okay, we're doing pretty good. We're not going to get our 12 because I made them a little bit bigger, but that's okay. Just about as much as you would have a scoop of ice cream. There you have it. Now, how easy is this? Anybody can do this. Your kids can do this, and they are vegan, and they are low carb, and they're just wonderful to be able to give yourself a treat when you're perusing the kitchen, especially for those of you who are working at home. Oftentimes, you get very, focused on what you're doing, and then you get up, and then you feel stressed, and then you start perusing the kitchen. What can I have? So these will just be a perfect little treat for you. And again, they do have a little bit of an impact of a carbohydrate, but I always say less than 5 carbohydrates, we're not going to have too much of a glucose influx, so it should be just perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these in the oven at 325 degrees. You're going to want to set your timer on. Now, you don't want to get them too crispy, but you want to have a nice little crisp at the end. And so you can depend on the texture level. If you cook them a little bit longer, more than, let's just say, the 10 to 12 minutes, and they're going to get a little bit crispier. Great for dunking into almond milk if you want that. But otherwise, I like them kind of soft and just really a whole lot of fun. So I'd leave them in a little bit longer. Here are our great chocolate chip cookies. So you cannot beat this. Look at these. They're gorgeous. Now what I'm going to say is that you're going to want to let them just rest onto the cookie sheet for at least 10 minutes because remember, almond milk is very flaky. And so this works out perfect. So you can see there's just a little brown, little crisp to the bottom. But again, if you want to have them a little crisper on top. Now, remember, almond flour is a clear color. So again, you might think that they're not quite fully cooked, but they are. So long as you can pick it up and hold it like this is awesome. It's the perfect consistency. So I'm going to go ahead and have a little bite of this. Oh my goodness, looks terrific. Chewy, delicious. You cannot go wrong. But I shouldn't be talking while my mouth is still chewy. So there you have it. So this is the Keto Kitchen with Liliana. We modify any recipe that you might have, and it's what we would consider your kind of emotional food. You know, you can always send me something on Facebook so that I can turn it into a keto recipe for you. But there you have it, and I hope you have a great day.